What's going on, guys? So another week in the book. I did some traveling this past week. I actually have one decant in particular that was used. I did bring a few bottles with me, but I wasn't gone the whole week. I managed to get in some really good stuff. A few things we did some full reviews on prior to this video that are in this video. Just some really good stuff. A lot of mass appealing stuff. Some that's kind of strange fragrances with a lot of complexity that are just oddly enjoyable. We've got quite the variety for sure, and it's week number 166. So stay tuned. Starting off on Sunday, I decided to wear this one all day long. I wore it during the day. I wore it again out the shower. It performs way better than what I typically would like out the shower, but it is Armaf's Club de Nuit Untold. So I've been spending a little bit of time with this one. I do like it. I bumped its first impressions rating from a 7 to a 7.5 in the full review, and it's good. It definitely smells really good. It's got that creamy cotton candy kind of vibe going on at the top. Settles into more of that crystallized sweetness that I mention from time to time when I talk about the Baccarat Rouge 540 DNA. It is pretty close. I wouldn't call it a one-to-one carbon copy like the most accurate BR 540 clone out there, because it's definitely not. But it is pretty good. They did a good job with this one. I was surprised that they went this route this late into the game. I could have swore they had a BR 540 clone already by now, but I guess not. And they gave a pretty good effort here. This one's solid. Like I said, performance is fantastic if you're looking for a monster. This one definitely does that. A lot of the fragrances from the Club de Nuit range tend to perform really well, and this one's nothing short of that. So the hype is somewhat justified on this one. Again, I don't think it's the best Baccarat Rouge 540 clone out there, but it's definitely up there. It's one of the better ones. All day long, Club de Nuit Untold. Moving into Monday, now this is a Baccarat Rouge 540 clone that I actually like more than Untold. This one I find gets it a little bit closer. Again, performance is ridiculous. There's, nothing's really lacking performance in this video, but this is from Maison Alhambra. This is Baroque Rouge 540. Did a full review on this one as well. This stuff is actually really good. This one's not as cotton candy sweet up top, so it's not Untold. Kind of the opening reminds me more so of Ariana Grande Cloud meets a little bit of Instant Crush, whereas this pretty much reminds me just of Baccarat Rouge 540. I put this one up there with Alhambra and Amber Oud Rouge. Big fan of that one for a BR 540 clone. This one kind of goes right beneath it. Kind of my second favorite of that range of clones. They did a really good job with this one. Alhambra, Latafa, Tomato, same company. Same parent company, I guess you could say. They've been doing a pretty good job. There's a lot of hype going on in the community and the online space when it comes to the two brands, especially Latafa. Just look at Latafa as a whole. They do a pretty good job, I got to be honest with you. And they did a really good job with this one. I'm impressed. I enjoy this one. It's even better than I thought it would be. If you haven't gotten your nose on this one yet, maybe you should, because it's really good. Check out my full review for more details, because it's a monster and it smells really good. During the day, this is Maison Alhambra, Baroque Rouge 540. And then out the shower is one that I've been quite enjoying since I picked up. This one seems to make the weekly rotation more times than not. It's Cristiano Ronaldo CR7 Play It Cool. Slightly more soapy shower gel take on Invictus, the original Paco Rabanne Invictus. But it definitely reminds me of Invictus greatly. Performance is decent. This one, I like this one for the gym. I like this one lounging around at the shower. It's a great casual scent when you want just something fresh and clean with a little bit of sweetness. That's what kind of separates it. There's a little bit of sweetness going on here. So it's not just your basic, typical shower gel type of scent. And I think that's what I appreciate the most about it. It's actually a solid offering. I still need to dive into the Cristiano Ronaldo fragrances a bit more. I've heard good things. And I like this one. So out the shower, CR7, Play It Cool. Moving into Tuesday, it was Valentine's Day. We had quite the day. Instead of cooking, we did end up going out to dinner. We were initially going to cook a few courses together. She decided she didn't feel like cooking, nor did I really, because, yeah. So we ended up going out to dinner, and it worked out. I want to say she wore Mossy Into Me for her, Decadence, and I went with Stronger With You, Intensely. I don't know who's a bigger fan of this one, me or her, because she's worn it since I got it. She has wore this fragrance. It smells incredible on her. This is quite lovely. Man, this is good. That toffee sweetness, that roasted chestnut. I'm just such a fan of this fragrance. It is so good. Performance is fantastic. It's cozy, cuddly, and powerful. Normally cozy, cuddly, and really powerful kind of don't go hand in hand because it can be overwhelming for the cozy situations. But no, this one just does the trick. It's just so alluring, especially to my wife, that it works in these situations. I still like Absolutely a little bit more. It's still my favorite in the line, but I mean, you really can't go wrong with the Stronger With You fragrance line. The DNA as a whole is awesome if you like sweeter fragrances. This is some of the best sweet, spicy fragrances I have in my collection come from this line, and I'm so glad to have added Intensely. One more wearing and we will be doing a full review, but during the day for Valentine's Day. A little Strong With You Intensely. And then when I got out the shower, it was time for a shave. And I don't remember what soap I used, but my aftershave splash was Dior Sauvage. So immediately went nose blind with this one. As you would anticipate. Why is it not focusing? There we go, now it's focused. This stuff's powerful. You can see that level dropping. I do use it from time to time. This is part of a gift set for the eau de toilette that I have that's from the 2015 batch. I don't know if it's the exact launch batch, but if it's not, it's the second batch. You want to talk about go nose blind fast. Splash some of this on your head and your face, neck, chest, all that good stuff after shaving. Man, smells amazing for about 30 to 45 seconds before you can't smell it anymore. And it is not the fragrance. It's not the fragrance oil is weak. It's just so strong, full of ambroxan, it wears my nose out really quick. I always get the feedback from my wife because as soon as I walk in the room after I shave and use this, she's like, "Whew, you're wearing that one again, huh?" Yeah, yeah, it's strong. So, just know that if you can get your hands on, I don't know about the newer ones. I don't like to play the batch code game, but if you can get an aftershave splash from the 2015, 2016 range, I'm sure it'll be just as powerful as this one. As far as the new ones, I don't know. I do like this, so one day when I wear out of this, I will get another one. Actually, it's quite underrated for how good the Sauvage EDT Aftershave Splash, well, Aftershave Splash, not EDT, the Sauvage Aftershave Splash, tongue twister, actually is. Out the shower, that's what I went with. Moving into Wednesday was travel day, so the rest of the week I did not have an out the shower scent. I gave my skin a break. I had very busy days, all day, every day, but I was just in the mood to wear this one again. I got this recently from Kingdom Fragrances. I have a full review coming down the pipeline at some point. This is Frapin 1270. This is so complex. There's so many layers to peel back with this fragrance. Every time you go back to it, there's a different nuance. There's coffee, there's citrus, there's honey, there's herbs, there's woods. There's so much going on. Beautiful atomizer. This is such a good, fun daytime fragrance. And I say fun because it's casual without being basic. You know, this is a high complexity casual scent is how I would put this one. Kind of gives a collegiate feel. Like think of all the busyness that comes with an active lifestyle when you're in college, for example. Now, I'm not saying it's youthful to that point, but because there's more refinement than, you know, just being a young man's scent, but young guys can definitely enjoy this one. There's nothing really serious, but it has that enthusiast level complexity that a lot of people crave and desire from their men's perfumes, and I'm stunned by this one. I would love to get my nose on the extreme flanker to this because this one is awesome. Performance is great, but it's so complex and deep that it's going to need a few more wearings before I can really do it justice and really break it down the way I see it on my skin. One or two wearings is not enough to really do a full review on this one. I got to have at minimum a handful or so of reviews. So it's going to be a little bit before I get a review out. But just know in the early stages, 2 wearings into this fragrance, this is one of my favorite pickups of 2023 so far. It's Frapin 1270. Moving into Thursday, this is the one decant that I used on my trip, and I enjoy this one quite a bit. The sillage isn't monstrous. I don't find it super close to Mont Blanc Individuel, because yes, I know Mont Blanc Individuel came out before Creed Original Santal. But I'll tell you what, I do really, really like this one. This came from Scent Door, for those of you that are wondering. I've had it for a little while. This came from Scent Door. It's an 8 ml, I believe, yes. And I haven't used a ton of it. I've used a few ml. But this stuff is so good. It really is. I would take this 10 times out of 10 over Individual. Nice and spicy, rich, a little fruity, woody, very, very woody. It's got a vibrance to it. I think this is a year-round type of scent. Even though there's a lot of warmth here, it's not overly like too strong, which I know some would complain about for the money. You want it ridiculously strong, I get that, but the scent profile and the average performance I get from this particular batch, I have no clue what batch code this is for somebody that's going to ask. I have no clue. It's pretty new. Within the last 6 months or so, I've gotten this decant, so I'm sure it's a very new batch within the last year or so, but average performer, phenomenal scent profile. Underrated fragrance from Creed is Creed Original Santal. It's actually quite enjoyable. If you've never gotten your nose on it, maybe check out Scent Door. They have it. That's where this one came from. Get yourself a decant. You can get multiple sizes. And yeah, don't just think because you maybe have Mont Blanc Individuel that I don't need to bother smelling that. If you smell this, you might say, ooh, that's way better. I need to save up and get a bottle of that. That might be the case. Or you might say, pass, I'm good with this. But if you don't try it, you won't know. So, on Thursday, Creed's Original Santal. Moving into Friday, I've been enjoying this one more and more with every wearing. This stuff is good. I don't care what anybody says. Yes, it's on the basic side. Yes, it smells like Dolce & Gabbana K with a bunch of pepper in it. It's Coach Open Road. I just did a full review on this one as well. I like this stuff. It's on the basic side. It's an average scent profile. It's nothing special, but it's enjoyable to wear. I get average performance, slightly above average, honestly, and it doesn't smell super cheap. I like K. I like KEDP. I like this more. I don't like this more than Roche Sloan. Roche Sloan kind of falls into that family too. That's the cream of the crop. Oh, I smell it in the air. But this is good, guys. I really like the way the Sichuan pepper note is used here. You get a lot of aromatics. It's a lavender clary sage bomb. It really is, with a little bit of apple, but mostly this creamy, almost slight powdery tone, not super soapy, aromatic bomb full of pepper that settles into a soft wood. A little bit of ambery feel, a little bit of an ambery accord to it, but I wouldn't call it an amber-based fragrance. This is good. This is good. I'll have links to everything below as best I can find. This came from Kingdom Fragrances. They have them for $48.98 US, so $49. That's a great price for a pretty new release that, honestly, I think it's my favorite Coach fragrance. I like this more than Coach for Men Blue, and Coach for Men Platinum, which I like all three of those. Especially Coach for Men. It was my favorite until this came along. I'm going to reach for this one more. I like this. Try this if you can. It's worth a sample. Don't just let people tell you it's basic and generic and just write it off. Go to a Coach store or a department store that sells Coach fragrances. Try this one on your skin. You might actually really like it, because I really like it. On Friday, Coach Open Road. Finally, on Saturday, one of the best fragrances in my collection. Had to bring it with me. Vertus Vanilla Oud. Special occasions and travel and events and stuff like that. I think this might be a staple for travel moving forward. Unless it's high heat summer, then no, I'm not going to bring this with me because I won't wear it. Magnificent funky oud, creamy vanilla, spices, saffron, a little leather. It's animalistic. I love that. I love that about this. So good. This is such an intoxicating fragrance. Performance is stellar. Guys, if you can get your nose on this one, get your nose on this one. Like I said, this is one of the 5 best fragrances I've ever smelled. That's where I rate it personally in my collection. The first time I smelled this on Justin, I had to have a bottle. I seeked out a bottle. Got it for $171. I looked the other day. After taxes, I paid $171 from Perfume Empire's store on eBay. At the recording of this, they don't have it in stock. I don't know where they have stock. I'm going to try to find it somewhere and put a link down below. Can't guarantee I'm going to find it in stock anywhere. But this is a must-try. If you trust my opinion, you value my opinion in any way, this fragrance is a must-try. I've talked about it many times before, but I just want to remind you, main accords here, saffron, leathery feel, warm spice. Obviously, there's an ambery tone to it. It's very animalistic, a little bit musky, like almost a castoreum warmth type of feel, with a kind of funky oud and a thick, creamy vanilla. That's the main takeaways from this. There's much more going on here than that. It's a complex fragrance, but it's amazing. It's absolutely worth trying. On Saturday, one of my favorites, Vertus Vanilla Oud. Well, that was this past week's rotation, and until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What'd you guys wear this week? Definitely put it down in the comments below. I love reading those comments. Probably, I don't have a timer set or anything, but it's probably a little bit shorter of a weekly rotation than usual because I didn't have out the shower fragrances most days. Only 2 days out of this week that I have something out the shower. Well, 3 times. Technically, because I wore Untold twice that day, but you get the point. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of the fragrances that I wore this past week and you give them a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.